Hey, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to do a JDM swap on this 2008 STI, so come along. Yeah, so this customer, they seized up their engine. Not 100% certain why. They think maybe the turbo went out. Either way, it needs to be replaced. These 2.5s are very expensive. This car is not really in the greatest of shape, and I think he wants to either sell it or trade it in after this. So he's opted to do the dual AVCS 2-liter from Japan, the EJ20X. It's a pretty common swap on these chassis. This is going to be my first time doing it on an actual dual car. From what I read online, you can just kind of drill out the secondary cam sensors and make them work. But that's all something we're going to learn. First things first, we got to get this guy out of here. I like to do an order of operations on these cars. I like to do everything underneath it first. Bell housing bolts, oil, coolant, downpipe, mounts. Basically that way, in theory, I never have to go back up with the car. But yeah, we're gonna get started on doing that stuff and let's get it going. So I finally got around to working on that STI, and you know, I got all the balance stuff here done, but yeah. So the customer's original complaint was he thought his turbo went out, which obviously is true, but it shot so much oil back there, he ended up starving the engine and locking it up. I was hoping that it wasn't a turbo. I was hoping it was just poor maintenance that locked it up, but man, that sucks. I'm going to have to get a turbo for it now. Well, at least we know. So I forgot to film me taking the intercooler off, but I got that off. We got all the underside stuff done. So what we need to do now is we need to get the airbag, get the airbox off, get the turbo off, get the intake off, get the radiator off, get the AC out, do some stuff like that, and pull the engine out. A couple bell housing bolts in the starter. Nothing too major. It shouldn't take too terribly long. The turbo I'm a little worried about because I don't think it's ever been off. But the nice part is this turbo's junk, as you just saw, so if we have to destroy it, it's not that big a deal. But yeah, I'm gonna get cooking on this, probably start up here and just get it all out of there. Yeah, throw you guys on the tripod and go from there. That intake did not want to come off. It fought me tooth and nail, but it's off. So all we gotta do, pull the turbo, pull the starter, pull the clutch pin, pull the pitch mount, and a couple bell housing bolts, and she's ready to come out. Once this comes out, we gotta switch everything over to the 2-liter. Gotta do a couple changes on the lower sensors. A couple of miscellaneous things like that, and it should be ready to go back in. But yeah, I'm worried about getting this turbo off. I feel like it's not going to be easy, but yeah, we'll see. All right, so it's ready to come out. The starter was corroded in, so if that's any indication, this thing is gonna fight me. I'm gonna put it on time lapse. So it's 450. Let's see how long this takes to actually come out. I'm gonna probably have to air hammer it and pry bar it and every other thing known to man to get this thing to come out, but we'll get it. Wish me luck. And there it is. It is actually 15 after, so 25 minutes. It came apart a little bit easier than I thought it was gonna. It was still pretty bad to get out. But I gotta get the other engine here and start swapping over the parts, because we gotta swap over the air pumps, the AC compressor, coolant crossover, clutch, those kind of things. And then we'll put it back in and figure out how to get the second AVCS stuff working. So that's where I'm gonna leave it right now. I'm gonna go get the engine hopefully tonight and catch back up with you guys tomorrow, or when I start working on it again. So I got the engine in the back of my wife's Forester here. I think while I got it up in the air, I'm gonna pull the flex plate off and try and get the intake off so we can reach in here and pick it out. Hopefully get it up in the car. It shouldn't be too bad to do that, at least, because then we can put all the other stuff on once it's in the car. But yeah, let's see what we can get ripped off of this here real quick. All right, the engine's ready to go in the car. We're reusing the old clutch. That's what he wants to do. We gotta lower the car down, get the pin in the trans for this with the throwout bearing. And then I think it's ready to go in. It's probably all I'm gonna do tonight. I just wanna get it stabbed in the car so that way come Monday I can keep cranking away at it. Shouldn't take too long to get the rest of this put together, I think. But yeah, okay. Well, I'm gonna lower the car down, do that real quick, and we'll keep going. All right, we got the engine in. It went a little harder than I would have liked, but it was also hard coming out. Well, it didn't want to come out. I cleaned everything up. I like to put anti-seize on the bell housing to the block. That way, whether it's me that works on it next or whoever, they can hopefully have an easier time getting this apart. But it's in. We still have to bolt the mounts in and everything. But it's Friday. It's like 7 o'clock. I'm going to go home and relax for the weekend and come back on Monday. So see you guys in a couple days. Okay, so I've been waiting on some parts for the STI here, and I just got the main one in. Well, I got all of them in. But here's the main issue that you need to fix on the EJ20X versus the STI engine, the EJ257. The sensor doesn't quite fit, so you just gotta kind of take a Dremel, I guess, and over that out and bolt it down. From what I'm told, that's all you need to do. I've never done a dual AVCS engine and a dual AVCS car. So let's Dremel that out real quick. We'll put it in, and then we'll get back to putting the rest of the stuff on the car. All right, yeah, just like that. So I'm gonna toss a bolt in it and put the rest of the stuff back on. I've got pretty much everything that I need swapped over, well, taken off. I do have the pump put back on, but what I wanna do next, I wanna get the turbo and the up pipe in position. Then we'll have to do the crossover, the breather system, gotta swap that line out. And I think we're pretty much ready to put the intake manifold on. I think. I'll probably run across something that I forgot and have to do it. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna, yeah, like I said, work on getting the turbo put in. Well, we got some other things on. Turbo fought me, I'm sure you guys saw. Long story short, it's a TD04 because the VF48's blown, obviously. The up pipe, I had to clean up all the threads. Coolant lines don't quite fit the same on the turbos. It's a whole ordeal. But it's on, so what we can do now is we can get the balance tubes on, get all that kind of stuff on so we can actually start getting the intake manifold on. It should, in theory, come together pretty quick here at this point. Can't really think of anything that's gonna hold us up right now. But yeah, let's keep plugging away at it. I think, yeah, like I said, we'll do the balance tubes and all that kind of stuff right now. All right, we are ready to put the intake manifold on. When it goes on, we obviously gotta get the turbo inlet in. Gotta get the PCV hose cut and stuff, the coolant lines, all those kind of things, but it's ready to go on. I wanted to get that on before doing the exhaust because it'll make getting the AVCS solenoids plugged in easier. But we're getting pretty close. We got intake, intercooler, downpipe, exhaust, radiator fluids. I think that's it. So if all goes well, maybe an hour? We'll see. But yeah, let's keep plugging away at this and get it running here soon. So I forgot to film some of this. We got everything put together. I got the alternator out of it. Crank sensor's unplugged. I'm gonna wing it over and try and build some oil pressure before firing it up. That should be the only thing that we need to do is put the alternator in, and if everything went well, it'll start right away. So here's hoping. Let's try starting it.
All right.
Yeah, and just like that, she fired right up. It's not throwing any cam correlation codes, so that's a good sign. I haven't yet driven it. It's throwing a code for the bank 1 oxygen sensor, the heater circuit. Deal with that later. Like I said, I know he wants to sell this car. But just got a couple things to button up. I gotta hook up one of the balance tubes. But yeah, apparently the 2-liter, just doing that one cam sensor does work, so that's really cool. Good to know. I don't do too many of these STIs with the 2-liter. Most people want to keep the 2.5, but hey, it's one more good thing to know. But anyway, that's where I'm gonna leave this episode. So if you guys have any questions or you like this kind of content, make sure you like and subscribe, do all that kind of stuff, and we'll see you next time.